LeBron James was stepping onto the court during one of the brightest periods in NBA history, and the roar of the crowd was deafening. Every basket, every dunk, every assist was solidifying his legend. But that day, it wasn't just the fans watching. There was a dark shadow looming. A battle off the court had begun, and it was a danger no one could see. For the past few weeks, LeBron had been trying to hide the pain in his right knee. The doctor said, "It's just a minor strain. You can play." But every step reminded him that the pain wasn't just physical. It was something trying to control him, an invisible force. Every bounce of the ball, every pivot, every sprint reminded him that this injury could end his career if he wasn't careful. But backing down was never in his nature. LeBron had built his life around overcoming impossible odds, and this was no different. One night, after a grueling practice that left his muscles screaming, he received a message in the locker room that made his blood run cold. "We know what you'll do next game. Your family isn't safe." He didn't know who sent it, but the threat was clear. His wife and kids were being targeted. It was the work of an illegal betting syndicate, a ruthless organization with ties reaching into every corner of the league. They weren't just trying to control the game, they were trying to control LeBron's life. And worse, they knew he'd do anything to protect his family. LeBron stared at the phone, his hands trembling slightly. Fear wasn't unfamiliar to him, but this was different. This was personal. And yet, in that fear, a spark ignited. He wouldn't be a pawn. He would turn the tables. The very next day, he began digging into everything he could find. Old news articles, leaked documents, suspicious player transfers, betting patterns. Nights blurred into mornings as he traced connections between corrupt officials, underground bettors, and enforcers who followed him around without ever being noticed. It was like a shadow world operating just beneath the glittering surface of the NBA, and he was stepping right into it. Then came Marcus. Marcus, a teammate he had trusted for years, began acting strangely. "You might not be able to play," he said casually during a practice, "but everyone knows what you're going to do." There was a subtle edge to his voice, an insinuation that unnerved LeBron. Was Marcus working with the syndicate, or was he just scared, overstepping his bounds in a way that could ruin everything? The uncertainty gnawed at LeBron, planting seeds of doubt that he had never felt toward anyone so close to him. Game day arrived, and LeBron stepped onto the court with his knee aching more than ever. He moved carefully, each step measured, each jump calculated. The crowd's cheers were deafening, but they couldn't drown out the storm in his mind. This game wasn't just about winning a championship. It was about survival. Every play, every pass, every fake had stakes far beyond the scoreboard. The first quarter began, and LeBron's instincts kicked in. He was aware that the syndicate might be watching, tracking his every move. The pressure was immense, but he channeled it, turning it into focus. Each assist wasn't just for his teammates. It was a part of a subtle strategy to mislead those who were plotting against him. Every pivot and cut was designed to keep them guessing, to throw off their timing, to buy himself breathing room. By the second quarter, the tension escalated. Marcus made a critical misstep, sabotaging a play and causing a turnover. The commentators hesitated, sensing the unusual disruption. LeBron's eyes narrowed. Was Marcus acting under coercion, or was this a personal test of loyalty? LeBron decided to test him without revealing his awareness. He watched every micro-expression, every hesitation. He was balancing the dual roles of player and strategist, a chess master in the middle of a high-stakes basketball game. During a timeout, he signaled Marcus subtly, directing the coach to pull him out. The crowd, oblivious, was still roaring for the next play. But behind the scenes, the real battle was unfolding. LeBron's mind raced, not just with the next offensive play, but with how to track the syndicate, how to anticipate their next move, how to safeguard his family without tipping his hand. The minutes dragged. Every jump shot sent sharp pain shooting through his knee, yet he refused to show weakness. Each basket he made carried more than points. It carried defiance, intelligence, and the quiet message that he could not be controlled. The crowd erupted when he nailed a three-pointer in the corner, but few realized that behind the spectacle, he had just outsmarted an entire network of criminals and a potentially deceitful teammate. By the fourth quarter, it was almost unbearable. His knee felt like it was on fire. Each step required sheer willpower. Sweat stung his eyes as he executed play after play, manipulating not only the defense, but the unseen forces tracking him. He moved with precision, anticipating the syndicate's expectations and deliberately breaking them, making it impossible for them to predict his actions. Then came a moment that would define the entire game. The opposing team, realizing LeBron's strategy, intensified their defense, trying to corner him. He dodged, pivoted, and faked, relying on instincts honed over decades. Every heartbeat was amplified. Every second mattered. Off the court, his allies were quietly preparing to confront the syndicate, using the intelligence LeBron had painstakingly gathered. The plan was in motion, but it depended on him finishing what he started in the final seconds. With seconds remaining, the game reached its climax. The opposing team pressed hard, trying to force a turnover. LeBron's vision narrowed to the ball and the basket. He felt the pain, but blocked it out. With a quick feint, he stole the ball, dribbled past two defenders, and leapt for the final shot. The buzzer bled. Swish. Game 1. The arena exploded, but the real victory was far more personal. Later, away from the cameras, LeBron confronted the syndicate. Using information he had gathered, he orchestrated a sting that exposed the operatives. He moved methodically, leaving no trace of his involvement until the authorities had secured the criminals. But the biggest revelation came in a private conversation with Marcus. He hadn't been under the syndicate's influence at all. Fear and jealousy had driven him to act out. LeBron's gaze was hard. He didn't simply forgive. He made Marcus understand the gravity of his actions. Trust, like victory, was fragile. That night back home, LeBron finally allowed himself to relax. His family's safety had been preserved, the syndicate dismantled, and his career still intact. The pain in his knee remained, but it no longer mattered. Every challenge, every threat, every act of betrayal had forged him into more than a champion. It had made him resilient in ways that no trophy could measure. Every shot, every assist, every play on the court was now part of a larger story of strategy, survival, and endurance. In the quiet moments at home, he reflected on everything: the years of struggle, the early mornings, the sacrifices no one saw. His mind replayed the moments when victory seemed impossible, and yet here he was, stronger and wiser. He realized that the game of basketball was just a reflection of life itself. Strategy, risk, trust, pain, and triumph intertwined in a delicate balance. LeBron's legend on the court continued, but off the court, he had become something greater: a strategist, a protector, a man who could face shadows without flinching. And as he looked ahead to the next game, he knew one thing for certain: his next challenge would be just as fierce, just as unpredictable, and just as defining. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to support me by subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. See you in the next story.